Hello, welcome back to our YouTube page. Yes. I'm Jahque.
I'm Kwame, and baby's in the corner. You won't be seeing her on this channel.
Okay, maybe not in this video. So
The point of this video is going to be talking about our experience as new parents within the first 10 days to about 2 weeks or so, right? There's a lot that happens within the first 10 days, what you learn about your child, what you learn about yourself, and what you learn about each other. And I think a good place to start is, sleeping. Sleeping is a big point, a major point when it comes to babies, learning their schedule, learning when they nap, things like that. So, this place you want to start, babe?
Sure. Well, I think we expected that we weren't going to get much sleep because that's just what everyone tells you. Oh, you'll never sleep again. I mean, you will sleep. It just won't be the same type of sleep that you have without a baby. But anyway, I feel like there was, now that I'm thinking about it, there was a lot of funny things or dumb things that we did. When we first came home, like, I thought that she was going to go into the bassinet, and then over time, I transitioned her into the crib. She did not like the bassinet at all. She would cry, right? It was this little person in this big space, and we would try to swaddle her. He's the king of swaddling. I still can't swaddle. And she also doesn't like to be swaddled, right? So, like, every baby's different. Yeah, no, she just wanted to be close, which makes sense, right? And it doesn't mean that we were spoiling her or something's wrong with her. A lot of babies, well, every baby is, like, in a very small, warm space. They hear their mom's heartbeat. And then, like, you just bring them out into the world and you tell them to sleep by themselves. Like, what the hell? Like, they've been technically sleeping with you for about 40 weeks or so. So I think we had to learn that, like, we really have to follow whatever she tells us she wants, she doesn't want. And with that, we learned to co-sleep.
Yes.
But I think we should talk about what happened before we got to successful co-sleep.
God. So, beginning with co-sleeping, it was very hard. We were so nervous about, putting her in the bed between both of us, and it was like, oh my God, suppose I roll over on her, suppose, you never know what's going to happen. We read all these horror stories on blogs and different advice we heard from doctors and nurses, and it seemed like a horrific thing, seemed like a thing not to do. But, we started on the couch. We started on our couch when we began this co-sleep. Our couch comes onto the bed, and, I would be up for 2 hours watching them sleep. She would be up for 2 hours watching me and the baby sleep. And it was just not a good way to co-sleep at all.
It was dumb. I wouldn't even think that's co-sleep. We were babysitting, and, like, that just isn't me. But yeah, I think it started because I was sleeping. I'm not going to go to the whole story and bore you guys, but I started sleeping sitting up, right? Like, she has a little nursery, and there's a chair. And I was like, okay, well, and mind you, this is like 2 days after giving birth. I was exhausted. During the delivery, like, I didn't sleep. I was trying to nap, but, like, I was like, nope, I need to power through. So I was running on, like, zero sleep. Anyway, I had her nursing pillow, and it was one that straps to me, and I would put her on the nursing pillow, and I'd put attach the swaddle from the nursing pillow to my shoulder, so that way, like, if she did happen to move, like, she really couldn't really go anywhere.
Sis had, like, a safety net.
Basically. I'm sorry, we scared you. She's trying to sleep. So anyway, it was terrible. And then, like he said, we do this to the couch, and we'd watch each other, and then we were just frustrated when we finally did get up because we weren't getting quality sleep. So fast forward, I learned to reach out to 2 moms, thank y'all. And I started reading from text, their story about co-sleeping, and I was like, no, we're just going to do this. You're going to lay in the bed, she's going to get in the middle, and I'm going to lay on the other side. And now we get quality sleep.
Yes, I think as new parents, you have to adjust. You have to learn to adjust on the fly, just in any and every situation. I think that's the way you see yourself become successful on any hurdle you may encounter. Breastfeeding when it comes to newborns. Breastfed babies, they eat a lot. They eat a lot of breast milk. They love breast milk. They love that time with mommy. They love the bonding. It's a beautiful.
Some do.
That bond is something amazing. I think it's beautiful to watch as a father.
Aww.
See, mommy and daughter bonding. But it does comes with some challenges. Some that you may not know, some that you do know. So you want to talk about that, babe?
Sure. Well, I don't want to get into, like, a whole bunch about breastfeeding because that'll be our next video. But I think as it relates to the first 10 days, like, I didn't know how often breastfed babies ate. I was raised on formula, like, and no one in our family had recently had a kid that we could speak to. So anyway, the point is that, babies do sleep with like 17 hours a day, but that doesn't mean they sleep 17 hours straight. So it could be getting up constantly, or it's just needed to feed at night. And she, like, her schedule, well, her clock, internal clock wasn't fully functioning, right? So what would happen is, like, she'd sleep throughout the daytime, and the nighttime comes and she'd start cluster feeding, which means she would just eat all throughout the night. So I was up all night long until like 6 a.m. And then we had to realize, like, okay, here's the trick. The trick is you need to let them know that daytime, it means you're up and you nap, and nighttime means you sleep. So we open the blinds. Anytime during the daytime, she would nap. And that's really important, right? Like, some people are like, oh, make everything dark. No, because then baby won't get adjusted to what it's like to be out in the real world. And we also learned to, like, sleep when she sleeps. So anytime she was napping and that 17 hours of sleep that she needed, we would need to take a nap. And of course, it took time, right? Because I told you we were sleeping sitting up. But eventually, like, we got it down pat. And then also to breastfeeding, why that's important to co-sleeping is because research suggests that breastfed babies that co-sleep are less likely to die from SIDS, right? Sudden infant death syndrome. That's because the breast milk doesn't stick to their digestive system as formula does. So why that's important is because your baby's going to wake up more often. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about, like, oh, is something happening to my baby, or is my baby, like, just in a deep sleep? To know. And also, he slept differently, right? Like, you changed your position.
Yeah.
Because I have heard, like, your mom, you'll know, like, not to roll on your baby. And I mean, you might or you might not, but I do believe maternal instincts, you'll know, like, she's up. Like, I sleep very differently from how I slept before. But it might not be the same for dad, right? Like, you didn't have a little human inside of you for all these months. So, but yeah, I think he slept differently. Like, he moves further down in the bed, and so it's not like she's completely in the middle between us. Like, he's down, I'm up, and then she's in the middle. So that way, like, if he does roll over, he's not going to roll over on her. I think we should also talk about where we were emotionally, physically, and mentally in the first 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But I realized I had baby blues, which is, like, you can look it up, but it's not the same thing. And it's typical, right? Like, sometimes it happens to moms, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, my hormones were everywhere, so I was just crying. I was excited, and I was happy to have her, and I wanted to do great things, and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I would just be sitting on the couch, and next thing you know, I'm crying. So in that period, I realized that I needed a lot more support than I thought I did. Especially to alleviate some of the things that was making me cry, right? Like, I was like, wow, like, we went grocery shopping somewhat because I kept anticipating this day, but I didn't have the strength to cook, and I knew I wouldn't have, but I guess I didn't know that I was going to be bleeding for days, if not weeks, right? No one told me that. So I guess in my mind, I had this expectation that I was going to come home and I was going to learn her cues and we were going to be so happy and whatever else. But what really happened was I was so excited, but I was also so exhausted. And I actually needed to physically heal. So I just, that was happening.
Yeah, the birth of a child comes with so many emotions, so many different feelings. And that's how, like, its highs and lows. And, one of the lows is, women do going through, baby blues. And, you never know when it's going to come. It might come the 6th day, but you never know. And I think as a partner, you have to just know how to support, your partner. And it's very sure that, she's doing a great job. I used to send her, like, texting them, like, oh, good morning, you're being such a great mom. Or, give her, just get a positive affirmation that, she's doing a phenomenal job. And, with her, to the end of this journey. So,
and I think also we realized that we needed someone to help do household chores. And I think there's nothing wrong with asking for help, because I feel like us as a couple, like, we're okay with asking for help, but we don't do it as much as we should.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that if we could do again, I definitely would. And I'd offer the same support to new moms and tell friends out there, like, here's how to support your friend. We started a meal train, right? I didn't mention that, right?
Meal train.
doula told us about this. That she literally was like calling your tribe, and I was like, everyone's so far. Like it was a lot happening. But anyway, thank you to the folks that like did send us food and send us motivational texts, both of us as parents, because that's really important, right? And Meal Train, I would highly recommend it. You can send them food from afar. You can bring them food, right? I mean, also recognize that within this time, like visitors, and this is something we should talk about. Like we didn't really want visitors.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to respect parent wishes and don't think it's because like we're being mean or something. It was we have this new human that we've been waiting to meet for 9 months, right? So it was like the longest mystery date ever. And we wanted to be selfish. And we also wanted to learn all her cues. And I think we've got it down pat, right? We spent like the first 10 days literally just focusing on her. Like by day 7 or 9, like we knew what her hungry cry was, what I just peed. Yeah, what I have to poop, I'm gassy. And I don't think we would have been able to do that if we had allowed our friends and loved ones to come over really soon. So I think that's something to consider too. Like what do you want your first few days to be like?
Yeah, definitely. And pictures.
Yeah.
I know everyone is different when it comes to the birth of their child, but I think us, we were very, we don't want her face out there on the internet. We didn't want to post on social media. We waited some time to like, tell people like, in the internet, like, oh yeah, our child is here. And, a lot of people was like, oh, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? I was not having a photo shoot with sis, when she came out the womb.
That's true.
And I think some people have to respect, we're going to send you a picture when the time comes, just wait.
Yeah. Because you have to realize that we are adjusting. We still are adjusting, right? She's 3 months old, but we're still adjusting. But to recognize that, like, it's such a beautiful but emotionally and physically traumatizing experience, right? To, like, deliver a child and now learn this child. Like, be patient with us.
I think sometimes it's hard in the first 10 days, especially if your partner's breastfeeding, and say, what do I do? And, you don't have milk. You don't have much. You got to be 2 hands. But I think, like positive affirmations, and also, I said like, okay, I'm going to, change her every diaper, every split up, things like that, and I'll take her, I'll clean her up in that way. So, I can give you a little break to, be by yourself, got to thoughts, get some fresh air. So I think that, helped her, the first 10 days and, have a recovery process, both emotional and physical.
Yep.
Agree?
Yeah, I think that's really important, right? I think something else that's important to mention is in the first few days, she was so gassy, right? Yeah. Like her little fist would ball up and she would turn red and she would just start hollering. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's wrong? So I started Googling.
Stay away from the Googles. Don't stay away from Googling.
I had all these theories, but realistically, I took time for me to be like, oh, like this is somewhat normal for babies because they have an immature digestive system, right? Yeah. Like it takes time for everything to catch up. So I went from changing my diet to reading about how, like foods you eat impact breast milk, which I think personally, there's a lot of
information out
on both sides, yeah, but I really think that it does to a certain extent. And then there's others that just said like babies are just mature more. I think both helped, right? Like I realized that tomatoes and stuff like will come through the milk. It wouldn't turn red, but like would pass through the milk, and it was a lot. Like it was really gassy food for her. But then now, like I eat those same things and she's fine. And then what else? I also learned about she would throw a fit when we'd have to change her diapers, especially if she was sleeping, right? So like she would just cry. She liked to be changed. But what I realized is that in the first few days, the babies might not cry when they're wet. Like they don't know how to say like, oh, I'm wet yet. So it might take some time. So, just check the diaper periodically. But also know that unless your baby is soaking wet, like it's okay to let them sleep through the night in a diaper. As long as they're not sitting in poo, right? Because you wouldn't want to sleep in poo.
You don't want that rash.
Yeah, no. But we would change her diaper like really often because we didn't want her to be wet. But it was making her so upset. And then we reached out to like another like new parents, like he reached out to them and realized that like, wait, this was happening to their baby too. And the baby just gets used to it over time. So I feel like it's those small, like funny little things. You're like, is this unique to my baby? And no, it's like most newborns.
Babies are going through it, but no one talks about it. So.
Exactly.
And that's all we have for video number 2. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave comments down below.
And we hope that you guys enjoyed and you learned something new. Let us know if you can relate to any things we mentioned. And next video will be about breastfeeding, so stay tuned.
Hug me and squeeze.